Hey everyone, welcome to Shooting Complex, where today I'm going to be talking about what it is like to compete in a DMR match, what the challenge is that it offers, why I think it's valuable, even if you're just somebody like me who mainly focuses on USPSA and PCSL. I don't want to make a DMR match my focus, but I think that there's a lot of really valuable stuff that you can get out of it. And of course, I'm going to be talking about the equipment that I use to shoot this match. If you don't know or are unfamiliar with what a DMR match is, DMR just stands for Designated Marksman Rifle Match, and it is a practical shooting sport because it focuses, of course, on speed, accuracy, with the added twist that all of the targets are going to be at distance. And the distance that I'm talking about here is anywhere between 100, 600, or even sometimes 700 yards. Now, the match mainly caters towards semi-automatic rifles, or sometimes they're called gas guns, or self-loading rifles, like AR-15s and AR-10s, which I think is really awesome because that's mainly what people have. Let's take a look at the equipment that I use to compete. For the rifle, we have an LMT AR10, as you can see right here. It's using one of their older proprietary mounting system uppers called an LM8, but I picked it up on discount and I couldn't resist. I think this gun is really awesome. I really enjoy it. It's a 16-inch chrome-lined barrel chambered in 308, and for this match, I used 175 grain federal gold medal match, which did really well. I had grouped this out the day before just to see what it was capable of, and I got around 1.5 inch groups, which for a semi-automatic gun that's just a factory rifle, I think that that's fantastic. A lot of people talk a crazy game on the internet about like, oh, your gun isn't capable of sub-MOA, well, it's worthless. Unless you're shooting a custom bolt gun or a really nice AR-15 with a quality stainless barrel and hand loads and a really nice bolt, most guns are not capable of that, let alone most shooters. So I think if you want to be competitive at a DMR match, as long as you have a gun that's sub 2 inches, you're going to be perfect. The only thing that's going to hold you back is your own skill. Mainly use 3x to 6x magnification on this, and my offset dot is just a cheapy hollow sun that I have mounted on an Arisaka offset. I really like having offsets on all my rifles. It just makes them more versatile. I can keep the LPVO dialed in at whatever magnification I need, and then anything for 100 or so yards in, I can just cant the rifle, and my dot is right there. I don't like doing a 12 o'clock mount because then I have a cheek weld, and I have to break it to lift my head up, and then I have to sort of re-establish control over the rifle by doing that. So I just like it canted. Cheek weld's already there. Got all the control in the rifle I need. Geisley 2-stage trigger on this. Really good. Nothing more I can say about that. For the magazines, I'm just using the Magpul 25 and 20 rounders. I don't know what it is about the spec of the LMT magwell, but the mags are very difficult to get out there. Not drop free, as you can see. The 20 rounder is a little bit better, but not by much. I have not tried a LaRue or Knight's Armament mag yet, so I can't really comment on that. But the mags worked really well. Loaded reliably. I know the 25 rounder is loaded to 118 spec, and that is definitely contributing to its weirdness with the magwell, but the regular mag isn't, so like I said, I don't know. The only other piece of equipment I want to talk about is this. This is just a Grave Solutions rifle bag. It's not going to be making a return. The fill on it is pretty light. There's really not much to it. You can really squish this thing down and not really get a whole lot out of it, I don't think. It's nice that I can secure it to the rifle, but that's just about it. I think if I were to focus on this sport, I'd make the investment in some Game Changer bags. Those are really nice. Everybody had them, and I can see I got to borrow one, and I see why. They're good bags. All right, now let's take a look at some of the footage of the match. This match was scored using Time Plus. If you don't know what that is, it's just the total time that you took to complete a stage, then penalties in the form of time added to your score if you incurred any. For any distance match, this is going to be the most practical because nobody's going to be walking downrange to 600 yards to paste up a target, calculate a hit factor. Hit factors would be really low, so it makes most sense to just use Time Plus scoring because it's very easy to understand for something like this. At this match, they had an equipment rule that anything that you brought had to be either on you or within an arm's reach at all times while you shot the stage. I just brought my normal multicam Tropic range bag and an M240 barrel bag to carry my rifle, expecting to do what I normally do with them, which is just house my stuff and set it down on a table as I walk stage to stage. But having to do everything that you're supposed to do at a stage, compete and engage targets, and then bring all the gear with you was completely new context that I was not ready for. Now, if I choose to shoot this match again, I'm going to rethink how I manage my gear, especially now that I've seen how more experienced competitors do it. They bring backpacks, tripods, shooting bags, all stuff that's going to allow them to more quickly engage targets. Thankfully, the friend that I went and shot this match with, he lent me his Game Changer shooting bag, because without that and using my range bag to help me build shooting positions, I would have done much worse. Now, for the firearms divisions, there were 3. The one that I competed in, which was called Gas Gun Tactical, that's for any 5.56, 308, or 7.62 gun, any barrel length, max magnification of 10, any magazine capacity. Then there was Practical Precision Division, which was max barrel length of 20 inches, max magnification of 20x, and a max mag capacity of 20 rounds. And if you had a gun that didn't fit either of them, then it automatically went into open. The challenges that this match brought were great. You had to build a firing position that's going to allow you to control the rifle to fire accurate and fast at distance. However, the position that you establish isn't going to matter if you don't have the technical knowledge of your ammunition's velocity out of your specific rifle's barrel and where to aim, and the skills to make it all come together. PCSL 2-gun and in-range TV's brutality matches will have you shoot in awkward positions, but this really targets that skill because that's all these matches are. All the targets are really far away, and any disturbance to the gun is going to translate to a miss. This is going to teach you the appropriate force necessary to control a rifle that'll let you take the shots on demand. The force that I was used to inputting in my rifle in PCSL 2-gun is a lot different than the force necessary to control a rifle at a DMR match, because at PCSL, I'm used to controlling a gun so that it's going to allow me to shoot really, really fast splits at much closer ranges than what the DMR rifle match presents. The fundamentals are always going to be the fundamentals of shooting, because that's why they're the fundamentals. They don't really change that much, but when you take a new challenge and you apply those skills in different contexts and applications, it really makes you a more well-rounded shooter and gives you just a broader perspective on how these core skills work in a majority of situations. To give you an illustration of what the challenge looks like at this match, let's take a brief rundown of what these stages look like. The stages at this match: first one, you had to engage an 8-inch plate, then an IPSC steel from 2 positions of your choice. Go to one position, shoot both targets, then move on to the next position, shoot both targets. Fortunately, at this stage, I had run out, but this is the last stage of the day for me. By the time I got around to shooting it, I had run out of all of my good ammo, my federal gold medal match, and I had to just shoot the PMC that I had, which did horrible in my gun. Definitely would recommend, if you go to these matches, use the good ammo. Stage 2, small steel stage. You had to shoot 5 targets from a hide. Couldn't shoot off the window. If you shot the window, then it was a DQ. Stage 3, this is a blind stage. It had a man, a bear, and a pig. You had to run to the first floor on the Connex, read the stage, and then while you were on the clock, run up and try to engage those targets in that order. It was really tough because you didn't know where the targets were, and because you weren't shown the stage brief until it was your turn. It was a blind stage. It was really difficult. I don't think a single person in my squad managed to find and shoot any of those targets. Was it a little bit harder than it needed to be? Probably, but still, cool challenge. Never done something like that before. Fourth stage had a KYL rack, which I didn't know what one of those was. It stands for a Know Your Limits rack. You had to shoot off of a bench. You had to shoot large target, small target on the rack, then go to the ground at prone, shoot an IPSC that was occluded behind the KYL rack. Once you shot the IPSC, then you went to back and you had to shoot in the KYL rack in reverse order. For stage 5, this was started seating. You ran up to the barricade. You engaged a designated array of targets. You had to shoot out to 600 here, and then you had to choose a few different positions and then engage the same array of targets. So pretty cool. Really like that stage. And then stage 6, you had to take a standing shot. Then there were 2 steel targets you had to engage from each position, 2 positions from the barricade, 2 positions from the stump, and then 2 positions back at the steel fencing. So kind of cool. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you're an experienced DMR, scoped carbine, PRS, or quantified performance competitor, let me know what you think of this video. I'm really curious to hear your input. If you're somebody that has any questions, I'll do my best to answer all of them. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Really appreciated it.